That's so funny.
Christina. Hello, I'd like to call this Moorhead City Council meeting for November 12th to order. Good evening, everyone. My name is Mayor Pro Tem Chuck Hendrickson. The Moorhead City Council welcomes public input on issues listed on the agenda or of general community interest, time and council permitting. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. If you'd like to address the council during the meeting, please fill out the form provided by the city clerk, and we will call you upon during the citizens addressing the council. Please state your name and if you are a Moorhead resident. If comments were submitted to the clerk prior to the meeting via email or phone, those comments will be entered into the record. For more information on participation, please visit the council meeting page on the City of Moorhead website at moorheadminnesota.gov. We, the Moorhead City Council, collectively and with gratitude acknowledge the sacred land the City of Moorhead is built upon. We acknowledge the people who have resided here for generations and recognize that the spirit of the Dakota, Ojibwe, Métis, and all indigenous communities permeates this land. With that, like a roll call, please.
Ryan Nelson,
Here.
Matt Gilbertson,
Here.
Heather Niesemeyer. Here. Laura Caroon. Here. Deb White. Larry Seljevold.
Here.
Sebastian McDougall.
Here.
Chuck Hendrickson.
Here. And if you are able to stand, we'll recite the Pledge of Allegiance. And with the agenda, I do believe 12A was taken off the consent agenda.
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem.
So with that, can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Niesemeyer.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. And that does pass. Which brings us to number 4 with the consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved, Caroon.
Second, Niesemeyer.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. And the consent agenda passes. I don't believe we have recognitions tonight. Which brings us to approval of minutes for the October 28th, 2024. Is there any changes or additions to the agenda? If not, I'm looking for a motion.
So moved, Nelson.
Second, McDougall.
So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. And the approval minutes for October 28th have passed. Which will bring us to our first item on the agenda, which is 12A, the Public Works, and I'll let Councilmember Niesemeyer address that.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I wanted to remove this agenda from our agenda item from consent agenda just to explore some of the implications. I know we'll get to taxes and fees later in this year, but the resolution highlights specifically an agreement with Minn-Kota and the City of Moorhead to accept and process our recyclables. As we know, costs continue to go up, and so the implications may be that you will see some increases in some of the fees and charges that we have for residents in order to keep up single sort recycling and a lot of the programming that Minn-Kota has detailed in our agreement. So I just wanted to highlight that for people as they're looking at things changing coming up, that if you see an increase in some of our solid waste or recycling elements, to please keep this in mind. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you. Any questions about that or any discussion? Both Councilmember Niesemeyer sit on the Solid Waste Advisory Committee, and they've been talking about this for 2 or 3 years, and it's finally come to fruition. Everything's going up. Everybody knows that, and this is no exception, but I think it's a modest raise. I mean, it's not a huge fee, but, it was in time coming, so. Very good. Thank you again. Brings us to 13A, the resolution to assign transit revenue and expense contracts to the City of Fargo effective January 1st, 2025, and I believe Lori?
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yep.
we need a vote on that resolution if we could get it, 12A.
Oh, sorry.
I'll move to approve 12A.
Second, Karun.
So we have a motion and a second. Any questions? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. And that resolution passes. Thank you, City Manager Molly. Just blew it off, so thanks a lot. Sorry, Lori.
No
You're up.
problem. Thank you. Tonight's item is part of the implementation of the Joint Powers Agreement, the interim one with Fargo, whereby Moorhead is purchasing transit service from Fargo in 2025. It's one of the steps as we do that implementation piece. Under our interim Joint Powers Agreement, we have a cost allocation plan that's attached to that. And what this is that any ongoing expense or revenue contracts that Moorhead has that are going into 2025 will be reassigned or signed to the City of Fargo. So they will accept the revenue, and they will also pay the bills associated with these contracts, and then cost allocate and revenue allocate that out to the different transit systems that are participating in the service levels that there are. So there are three revenue contracts, and then and a few expense contracts where when we usually go out for expense contracts, they're joint contracts with Fargo. It's just that we have separate ones. So one will end and Fargo will just pick up the rest of them for most of those expense contracts. So that's all I had, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions for Lori? Okay, I'm not seeing none. So looking for a motion to approve the resolution.
So moved, Nelson.
Second, Karun.
So we have a motion and a second. Any other questions? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
If all those opposed, same sign. And that resolution passes. And I want to thank you too. You're retiring in December, is that correct?
December 27th, yep.
Okay, congratulations. Great work. You've been with the city, I'm not going to say the years, but you've been with the city for a while. So good luck in retirement, and thanks for all your service to the city of Moorhead. It's
Thank you.
much, much appreciated.
Thanks so much. I've enjoyed working with the city.
Okay. What a round of applause for her.
Thank you.
I have no problem saying the years. I believe it's 42 years, Lori? Yeah, thank you and Mark. You guys are great.
Thanks, City Manager Molly. Brings us to 13B, resolution to canvass the results of the November 5th, 2024 general election. And I believe that's Christine.
So we are going to approve a resolution to canvass the local election for our council members. But first and foremost, I just wanted to sort of thank the people involved in what ended up being about a 17, 18-hour day. I think people come to a polling location and they're in and out in a couple moments, and what they don't realize is just the work that goes into it behind the scenes. So I want to just thank Kelly Jenkins, who is sitting next to me. She is the deputy city clerk. Amy McDonald, who helps during that day. She works in our assessing department. And then the two guys from Public Works who do our heavy lifting, Dan Scholander and Matt Little. I want to thank them for that. Additionally, I have to thank, we trained about 150 election judges for this election. It went really smoothly. We are so appreciative of the work that they do. Year after year with these elections, there's some people who have never worked an election. There's some that have worked 20 elections. It was a neat experience this time around. One of the, we had a lot of people out voting. Specifically, there was a woman who came out to our sites who had never voted. She was 92 years old, and this was the first time she voted. So it's things like that that sort of keep us going after 17 and 18 hours. So, so yeah, thank you to everybody. Thank you to the council members who are coming in and going out, and we just appreciate working with you guys a lot in our office. So thank you.
And thank you. Election went smooth. I don't think people realize how much work goes into an election with the voting areas and then, registering. And I really appreciate the election judges too. That's a long day. I've worked as an election judge, and about 15th hour, you're on fumes. Bad fumes because you're usually eating pizza, but fumes. So, but yeah, it went very smooth, and I appreciate all the work. Does anybody else have any? Councilmember Niesmeyer.
I also want to really appreciate all of the people who signed up to work, who were trained, but also Christina, our city clerk, who organizes and coordinates all of these efforts from precinct locations and voting locations, looking at accessibility. Historically, I have heard some feedback. And I truly believe that feedback was taken in, and I heard nothing but positive things about polling locations this year. I have also heard from some who have voted on across the river and how much more accessible and awesome our precincts and polling locations are. So that just to elevate all of those thanks and appreciations that we've heard already and say ditto.
Anyone else have comments or questions? Not, I'm looking for a motion to approve the resolution to canvass the results of the November 5th, 2024 election.
So moved, Niedermeyer.
Second, McDougall.
So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. And the resolution to canvass the results of the November 5th, 2024 general election has passed. Which brings us to the mayor and council reports. Councilmember Niesmeyer.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I want to remind folks that we have lots of information coming out during city council meetings, but one of my favorite times of year is Take Back Jack. The county and the city have collaborated to have a number of locations throughout Clay County, but even within the city to bring your gourds and pumpkins to be composted at a local farm. And so I think that's a wonderful thing. You have until November 14th to participate in that, and I highly encourage it. Putting things that we might just let rot and waste to good use, I think is excellent. Also, tomorrow at 10, I lied. In the morning, we have the Cass Clay Food Commission meeting in the City of Fargo's Commission Hall. And so I encourage people to join us. If you can't, but you're really interested in food systems, I highly encourage you to look at the blueprints and the information available online. There's also a new action network to participate in, and it has to do with everything with food systems, people who grow, people who transport, people who eat foods, and everything in between. And so it's really an outstanding group, and I highly encourage that you check out the meeting or the action group. You can find them with a quick Google, Cass Clay Food Commission. They have social media elements with meeting details, agendas, and much more. So I encourage you to check it out.
Thank you, Councilmember Niesmeyer. Anyone else have? Councilmember McDougall.
Yeah, just thank you. Another quick reminder that this weekend on Saturday is Pangea being held here at the MCOM Center from 10 to 4. So anyone wants to come check it out, please feel free.
Thank you, Councilmember McDougall. Councilmember Nelson.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. This past Friday, I attended the, I guess they'll call it the annual fire department recognition. They swore in the newest members of the Moorhead Fire Department started this past year, and then also recognized those that were promoted in the past year as well, and also gave a life-saving award to a local four-legged friend of ours. So it was a great event. It was, all these members they're invested in our community. It's great to see. They come with a wide variety of experience. So congratulations to Chief Wallen over there at the fire department and the hard work the city staff do to recruit and retain these employees. So it was great to see. It's a great event. So I know City Manager Mully was there. Mayor Carlson did a great job swearing in the new members. So it was a great event. So thank you to the men and women of the fire department.
Thank you, Councilmember Nelson. Anyone else? With the mayor, I don't have anything to report on. I just want to, with the election, I want to thank the candidates too who ran. It takes a lot of courage to step out and run for public office, and I don't care what level it is. It's because you're constantly scrutinized, and it is a rush to run for office. So I want to thank all the candidates, especially the ones who ran for school board and the city council. So, City Manager.
No updates tonight, Mayor Pro Tem.
Okay, and we do not have an executive session. Any new business? Not, is that a record?
Yes, it is.
Good night, Moorhead. We are adjourned.